So I want to talk a bit more about Brexit today. The reason being is because obviously, like everybody's confused in Britain, in the EU, and people around the world, to be honest, about what the future holds and the future, what sort of good plays you have from Brexit. So, without further ado, let's just dive straight in. I am somebody who did vote to remain, but as time has gone on, and obviously I've accepted that the Leave vote, and to be honest, I have done a lot of digging, understanding, and research, and so my conclusion overall, before we sort of think, is that UK would benefit more than EU would from leaving the European Union. And a hard Brexit will probably be one of the best options. And I'll tell you why, as a trader as well specifically. So a hard Brexit, will probably cause a massive decline in the pound. And the next trade, in my opinion, the next trade of the next decade or so, would be long sterling against the euro. And not now, not even probably in a year's time. But let all of this play out, because we're going to get a lot more weakness in the pound, especially when we get with no deal and stuff like that. And then the next trade will be long pound versus the euro. And now the reason being is because a good way to sort of understand, because it's so much to know about Brexit. So a couple of things that you could use as sort of indications of why one country is better than the other, or why one region is better than the other, is always look at the banking system. The banking system always indicates how the country, how the economy is doing. Now, if you see the UK economy and the European economy, clearly both are doing bad. But what's doing worse, arguably, European economy, and you can see that with just looking at the banks. So if you look at, the Italian banks a year ago had a massive problem. They had gone into recession measures. So I don't know if you guys heard of Monte Paschi. That was one of the oldest Italian banks around, and it got nationalized. And what nationalized means is basically that the government came in and took over. So Italian banking crisis has been a major for the last year, 18 months. That's been collapsed. Spanish banking system has been collapsed. What's left? You got Germany and France in Europe. Germany's banking system, look at Deutsche Bank. Commerzbank was already gone. Deutsche Bank, one of the largest banks in the retail space as well, is having a major problem. And look at, you can just reflect in the share price. So a banking system is a good way to define how the country is doing. Now, if you look at all these European countries and look at the UK, fine, they're all doing bad, but in comparison, the UK is still a lot more stable than it is in Europe. So that's another reason why I'm bullish on UK more than Europe, because those are the parameters that you could look at. And Germany has entered a technical recession. They're having massive problem with obviously the automobile industry in Germany is huge, the manufacturing side of things. That's slowing down rapidly. And that's getting, they're getting eaten out alive on that side of things too. So it makes more sense for Europe to want to keep UK in than UK to want to keep Europe in with them. So those are the sort of ways to, at least, even if you don't understand everything, and nobody does, to be honest, but there are some bits and pieces that you could pick up to try and use that as analysis. So that's why, in my opinion, why leaving the EU would be good is, one, UK will have opportunity to prosper, getting out of this shithole in Europe. Another thing is, just look at the benchmark rate, right? European yields have turned negative. So they are now forcing people essentially to borrow money while and they're paying them interest to do so, to try and stimulate the economy. So you can see how, and interest rates have been zero for the last decade. Okay, UK has been close to zero, but we're still at least 50 basis points. And the fact that, that there's literally no way that they still can't stimulate. They stimulate. They've been doing QE for the last 10 years. And they're carrying on having to do so. And the minute Draghi is thinking about stopping it, which he is, it's looking like that will cause them to go into recession straight away. So you could clearly see how the sort of flaws in the European economy. So that's why, in comparison, UK will be a lot stronger, and that's why sterling could be the best trade of the next decade. And that doesn't mean now. I am not at all in a short or a long at the moment. I'm not going to bother shorting it, but I'm going to wait till it sort of declines. Get all the bad news priced in and everything once we're left, and then sort of get in and get a good trade into the pound sterling against the euro. Is what I'm after. So yeah, I hope you guys understand a bit more concepts to it. Obviously, you can't expect people to understand fully about Brexit, and clearly they wouldn't. But there are these sort of indicators, like I've been looking at, that you should look at and understand from, that where they can affect and help you to understand the future and where you would want to ideally get long and where would you want to get short if you do short the market as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.